Mark Geyer about to join us. Played 135 games for Penrith, won a premiership medal in 1991. He also played for the Balmain Tigers, Western Reds, played for Australia 3 times. Played 3 Origins, but it was the second Origin that he played in 1991 where he got a 5-match suspension afterwards for an on-field halftime confrontation with Queensland captain Wally Lewis. Big MG joins us on the platform. 125. Oh, man. We're going into this game, dude. I don't have any confidence. I wish I did. Fill me full of confidence and tell me that we're winning.
We're winning, Marty. We're winning. G'day, mate. Good to talk to you. I haven't spoken to you for a long time, and I've missed your voice, mate. So let me. You sit back in your chair there with your headphones on. Let me reassure you that New South Wales will win tonight. Okay, Brad Fittler, since 2018, since he's been coach, has never lost the second game of the series. So that's one tick. Rex Robson, who's making his debut tonight, has that little bit of a mongrel look about him that I like, and I think that he'll start tonight. I think he'll start with Damien Cook coming off the bench. You don't bag it. Number 2, that's tick number 2. Number 3, you don't bag a champion. James Tedesco has been given it from pillar to post from every quarter, even from New South Wales, media and stuff. He will be man of the match tonight in a winning game. And I'll bring it back to Sydney for game 3, and we'll see one of the best games you'll ever see. But as for tonight, they're cocky, man. The Queenslanders are cocky, and that's not usually like them. They're sprouting about. Reece Walsh is thumbing his nose at everyone. He's telling us to shush. And Ben Hunt's got contract drama on his hands with Dragons. Mate, they are worried. They are the favourites tonight for the first time since 2016. And you can bet my house on the fact that New South Wales will win.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, why the hell? I mean, look, this is a Queensland side. The Queensland that's playing at home, and they won with 12 men with 12 minutes to go in the first game. So just break it down with me tactically wise. What are the Blues going to do tonight that's going to be different?
For a start, they can't play any worse than they did in that last 10 minutes of the first game. They can't play any worse. They in the excuse of language, they shit themselves. They should have played a nice, relaxing game of they've got 12 men. We're in front by 10 points. What are we doing? Let's just grind out a win here. And they didn't, unfortunately for them. But Mitchell Moses is an interesting selection because Mitchell Moses, I think, when he made his debut in 2021, I don't think he knows he wasn't ready for it. They're having that little bit of a sample, I think, as well as some prelim games and a grand final last year. His big game status has kind of gone through the roof somewhat, and I think that'll hold him in good stead tonight. I don't put it this way, Marty. I don't think any of the New South Welshmen will be overawed by the situation. I'm glad they kept Hudson Young in the team because I think he's an Origin player. I think he's one of them guys who could be a 15 to 20 Origin player type guy. And as I said before, Tom Trbojevic, again, he couldn't have played probably a more quieter game than he did in game 1. So the tactics are, Marty, last game against Queensland, I was at Adelaide Oval, and it was quite visible that Queensland were playing the ball probably a second faster than New South Wales. So that tells me that New South Wales weren't getting off their line. They were playing the game on their heels. Queensland were playing their game on their toes, and that's how you win footy games. So that's the major adjustment that I think Freddie and the camp would have made to game 2. The kicking game of Mitchell Moses is going to be integral tonight because he has probably, in my opinion, the best kicking game in the competition. And when you've got the likes of the back line that he's got, Stephen Crichton can leap, Tommy Trbojevic can leap. Brian Toto and the Fox aren't that tall as far as wingers go, but they get the job done if the ball goes high. So you're going to see a really good tactical kicking game tonight from Mitchell Moses on the back of some really good go forward from Payne Haas, who I hope plays a lot more minutes than he did in game 1.
Man on man, is the Queensland team better, or were they just a better team in game 1?
No, they were a better team. And a better team always beats better players.
Okay.
It's a team sport, and you've got to play as a team. We didn't play as a team in the last 10 minutes. We threw all the toys out of the cot and went, well, let's panic. They've got 12 men. Cameron Munsey's got the ball. Like, come on, boys. It's you're paying them too much respect. That's when you've got a bloke in the sin bin, it's time to put the foot on the throat and say, well, you're not taking this game from us. And they would have learnt that. Freddie's got a lot more at stake in this game than he's probably ever had as a coach before. And there's only 2 ways you can go when your back's against the wall. You can fight or you can flight. And I can guarantee you tonight, at about 10:30, we're going to. If I was speaking to you tonight after the game, there's no doubt in my mind that we'd be talking about how good the New South Welshman fought. They fought for what was theirs. They fought for the embarrassment of Game 1. And now we're going to Homebush for Game 3. It's probably the biggest game in Origin history.
If Brad Fittler, if it doesn't happen tonight, what is his future as Blues coach?
Well, I always look at it this way, Marty. Is there someone better than him to take the spot? Is there someone better than Freddie to take the role? And at the moment, I can't think of a name that pops straight into my mind. So I know his contract was if they didn't win this series, his extension wouldn't be triggered, but I don't know about that. I don't know. Look, I haven't spoken to Freddie while this camp has been on. I'm, as you know, I'm really close to both him and my brother-in-law Brandy is in camp as well. And the last thing I've spoken to them about is rugby league. So I can guarantee that Freddie would love to keep the job because he's our most capped player of all time. He's our youngest player to put on a blue jersey. He spreads the word beautifully throughout his Hogs for Homeless, where he goes on his rides with his fellow Harley Davidson riders. If I think of New South Wales, I think of Brad Fittler. So it'd be very eerie to see him not involved somewhere in the concept. He's very, very strong in pathways. He loves seeing kids coming through, and most of these blokes in this team, Reece Robson's, the Payne Haas's, and you've got Callum Matungi, who's in the 18th man. They've all come through the pathways, and that's where Freddie excels. So even if they do happen to lose tonight, which I don't think they will, Freddie won't be lost to the New South Wales, Almanac. He'll be around in some way, shape, or form, and I'm glad of that because he's a much loved character as far as New South Wales rugby league goes.
MG with us, Mark Geyer with us, Origin legend, New South Wales Kangaroo, of course, won premierships for Penrith. I mean, it's an old mate of yours too. He played in that side that won in 1991. You know these guys, and you know Brandy and him well. Are they guys to panic? What I want to know is what kind of messages will they be giving that team before they go out there?
No, they won't panic. They won't panic, and I think the message Freddie has got to say to these boys is that you remember when you were a young kid and you were watching State of Origin and you dreamed about being that player who you used to watch. Well, tonight it's you. Tonight it's you boys who have got kids sitting at home on the lounge who just want to be you. So make sure that when you come off that field tonight, you've made every one of them kids sitting at home who want to aspire to be you proud of you. Because otherwise it's going to be a short-lived stint in a Blues jersey if you don't. And I think... No, Freddie's far from panic. Freddie's far from panic. He's more of a chill type of dude. But I think the pressure would get to anyone in this type of scenario. It's a pressure cooker. It's our biggest spotlight shines brightly on the State of Origin when it's on for these 6 weeks. And to be caught up in it, it's like being in a tumble dryer in the laundromat. You get bundled around. You get highs and lows. And tonight you'll see it. I put it this way. I think Freddie can't wait for tonight's game to start because then he's done everything he can do to help this team win the Origin series.
Jerome Luai, what do you want from him? Because I've just been so disappointed with the skippy, jumpy stuff he does, running sideways across the field. He's got all the aggression and everything, but I want him to play calmly and I want him to be looking for gaps, seeing what's in front of him and running through them.
I want to see the Jerome Luai that we saw in the World Cup for Samoa. I want to see that chill dude who was, who led the Samoan boys to a final against Australia. Jerome since that first game, which I don't think he was terrible in the first game. Well, he was, he could have played better. They all could have played better. But I think that since that game, and that's kind of the mark of a footballer, when you do get beaten the way they got beaten, and when you do come under scrutiny like he has come under, you back it up with how you play. And at the moment, the last couple of games we've played since Origin, Jerome Luai has been our best player on the paddock. Then when I say they, Penrith.
Right.
So I think he's answered it. I think he's answered that call. I think he knows to himself that he was down a bit. I know that there's a lot of talk before this game that he might have lost his spot. And I think if you've got pride in any sort of jersey, which I know he has, you go out and you respond. And I think tonight, along with Tedesco, who has also been under a lot of scrutiny for his first game performance, as I spoke to you earlier about, I think them two will be instrumental in our attack. I think you're going to see a lot of Jerome Luai and Steve Crichton and Liam Martin, down that left side of the field. Now that I think Brian Potter's playing on the left side as well, which is his favoured side. The Fox goes back to the right. So a couple of subtle changes, which could help Jerome Luai. He's got to play instinctive. He's just got to be, now that Nathan Cleary's not there, he's Penrith mate and his New South Wales teammate for the last 3 or 4 years, he's got to do it on his own. And when I say on his own, he's got to make sure that he's the man tonight. And I think he will be, Marty. I think Jerome Luai tonight will play one of the games of his lives.
All right, final question on this then. What about our bench? No backs on the bench. Is that a risk or not?
It's always a risk. It's always a risk when you don't carry. In hindsight, it was a risk carrying Nicho Hines as our number 14. So, do I think that our bench looks better than game one? Yes. So I think like Queensland, I think we needed to have 2 dummy halves. I think if Robson does start tonight, like we all think he will, for about the first 25, 30, that looks a bit better than what it did first in the first Origin in Adelaide. But look, you've got Blakes, you've got Cam Murray who can fill in for a centre spot. Look, when it's Origin, Marty, you just got to pick the best 17 you've got, and hopefully you get through unscathed without any. And I think they will. I think they'll go right. I think tonight's. I'm feeling good, Marty.
I can feel it. I'll tell you what, you've got me inspired. I'm here. I've just been miserable for a couple of weeks. Is that finally the Nicho Hines question? Is he just not an Origin player? Does he need more time? What is it going to take?
Of course, he's an Origin player. Yeah, of course he is. He'll be an Origin player for sure. I just think that the time wasn't right. A lot of these type of selections in Origin, especially, you got to pick guys who kind of the media kind of pick them. The outpouring of emotion around Nicho Hines' story, both on and off the field, has captured everyone's hearts in New South Wales. It was kind of inevitable that he was going to be picked for New South Wales. Has his form warranted it? Yeah, it has. He's been fantastic. He's been awesome this year. He's the Dally M player, and he won by a record number of votes. So he's not there on concessions. I just think that if he's going to, maybe it would have been better if he was kind of picked in the halves instead of playing number 14, because I don't think Nicho Hines is a guy who can play anywhere in the field. I don't think he's at Origin level anyway. I think at club level, yeah, that's fine, because he's at Melbourne Storm, he played fullback, bit of centre, bit of 5'8", but now he's killing up. And there is an argument that why wouldn't you put him straight in as number 7 this game? Well, I thought they might have. I thought they would have just said, but after his performance against the Melbourne Storm, which I think was a solid audition for the game, because he's playing Harry Grant and Cameron Munster and the like, I think he failed his audition. As a flock of birds fly above me here in South Penrith.
Go on.
Is that an omen or what?
No, I think it's a great omen. That's a great omen. That's a perfect omen, mate. Yeah. That's all we need.
Oh, there you go. Just don't drop your 2 on me, birds, okay?